We've got two movies to talk about today: Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu, and I Love Boosters. Let's start off with The Mandalorian and Grogu, directed by Jon Favreau, and it tells a story of how Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, and Grogu, his apprentice, or Baby Yoda, have to track down and rescue Rada the Hutt in order to gain the location of an ex-imperialist who's trying to rebuild the Empire. I like this film. I liked it quite a bit. I like the action. I like the dynamic Mando and Grogu still have. I love seeing them go on their adventures. It's been a while since season 3. I can't remember, maybe 2023, late 2022? I can't remember. But I just love seeing these two characters on screen again. Before I get into some negatives, I do want to talk about the praises I have for this film. I think it looks pretty good. It doesn't look as good as the other theatrical Star Wars films that we've had. People complain about the sequel trilogy, but those are some really damn good looking films. But this film looks pretty damn good on its own right as well. You could complain about there being a little too much CGI here and there. There's a lot of instances where we have a lot of droid characters, and they do stand out quite a bit, especially when we have the tangible Mando character and tangible sets here and there. Or it looks like just CG on CG backgrounds and whatnot, but it's detailed, it looks really cool, and sometimes, or for the most part, it blends in with the scene, and I'm always just immersed in the Star Wars world. I'm never really taken out because of the high production value that these films have, whether it's alien masks going on, whether it's puppetry, whether it's practical suits and whatnot. I'm always immersed in the production of Star Wars. There's so much details going on. I just love looking at anything Star Wars related. I love Star Wars. I thought the music was great. Ludwig Göransson is back. And one notable detail that makes this film stand out a little more is the score aspect when we're on a specific planet in a little more of a slum area. We got techno music going on, and I thought it stood out pretty well. It was the most interesting part of the score in this film, and it just sounds downright cool, as well as the rest of the score, especially the reimagining of the Mandalorian theme. It's just such a cool piece of music, and I think it's used pretty well in this film as well. I love the dynamic between Mando and Grogu. I love their father-son bond. I just love seeing them back on the screen with their adventures. They're just really fun characters to watch, and I love how, we know Grogu is 50 years old, but he's still a baby in terms of his Yoda species, right? But it's just still cool seeing that father-young son dynamic, trying to teach him the ropes, getting him ready for battle, and he's like this little baby creature thing. It's just so fun to watch. I thought the action was pretty cool, whether it's hand-to-hand combat or characters fighting big CG character stuff or chase sequences. I thought they're all just really fun to watch. I don't have really any complaints with the action department. I just think it's really cool to watch. I like the sets that they take place in. I like the character movements, different fighting styles. I just think it's really fun to watch, and I love seeing Mando action again. He's blasting people using his flamethrowers. I just wish he had the Darksaber or any type of spear or sword weapon like he used to. He does have one, but he doesn't really use it all too much in this film. I just like seeing Mando kick ass again. There is an aspect I really liked in this film. The film brings up questions about Mando questioning how much longer he'll be there for Grogu, because Grogu can live for hundreds or thousands of years or whatever, and Mando can only live for as long as a human can live for, right? So that's why he has to make sure Grogu's ready to fight for himself, especially when he's gone. Either he gets killed or he dies of old age, right? So he has to do his best to make sure Grogu is prepared for that. Make sure Grogu's prepared to fight on his own. I very much enjoy these moments when it's brought up, especially when it feels like Din Djarin, especially when it feels like he could die. I just wish they took that a little further. And it might have felt a little weird if there was a finality to this film, if there was a finality to that character or this arc going on, but I just want to see more adventures of Din and Grogu. I mean, I'm sure we all know what's going to happen at the end of the film, right? Because we all want to see more adventures of Din and Grogu together. But I just wish they took that aspect a little further. I like what they do with it, but I wish the film had a little more guts, or I wish there was a little more finality to that. I don't have a whole lot to say in terms of positives because I just really enjoyed the film. It's fun. There's a lot of great action. I love the music. I love that father son dynamic. The production is just great all around. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, amidst all of the detailed CG going on here and there, I do love this one specific aspect that takes place in the final fight when in the trailer you see that there are these two giant golem droid-esque creatures that Mando is fighting. I'm watching and it clicks with me. I go, oh, this is stop motion. This is really cool to see in the year 2026. A stop motion, you know, stop motion going on in terms of a live action set piece. I forget the name of the guy, but I believe he did it. He did like the Ed robots on RoboCop, and he's done it for a whole bunch of older movies and whatnot. I believe he did it again for this film. It just looked really cool. Of course, there's CG layer over it, so it fits more in the environment of this film. I just thought it was so damn cool to see stop motion used like that, and it just goes to show how much artistry there is in this film in terms of the production. Because otherwise, it would have just been a regular CG, you know, thing that these characters fight. But it's just so cool to see because it makes it feel like it's actually there as it has its slow movements because it's stop motion. You can tell it's stop motion. It's really good stop motion, but you can tell it's stop motion, as well as there being a layer of CG over it. But because they're giant rusty robots that most likely haven't been used in a while, they're gonna move a little slower, not super fast and fluid, and have all these swift movements to them. So I think it being stop motion really benefits to the world building and the believability that these are actual tangible things in this environment. Yeah, that's all. That feels like it's all the positives I could say. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. I really want to watch it again, but it's so long. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. Is that right? Yeah, it feels like I think it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. 2 hours, over 2 hours, and it feels really long. There's a lot of sequences that I felt like could have been sped up a bit, more so in the first half because it's a lot of building up. It's a lot of getting to this place, asking questions, getting to another place, asking questions. I just felt like some scenes could have been tightened up a little bit, or some scenes could have gone a little quicker. But I think the second half of the film feels a little more tight. Another weird issue I had with this film was that of Rada the Hutt, voiced by Jeremy Allen White. I think he did a good job portraying this character. It's just that this character doesn't have a whole lot of character to him. All he does is say that it's hard being your own man when your father is Jabba the Hutt. That's all there is to him. Not, oh, after I'm done being a gladiator fighter, I'm gonna do this. He doesn't say what kind of man he wants to be. He just says it's hard to be your own man when Jabba's your father, and he keeps saying that over and over again. So there doesn't really feel like there's a whole lot of character to this character. At least I don't remember if they did or not. At least there could have been a moment where he talks to Din Djarin and says like, "Oh, your father-son dynamic. I wish I had that with my father." Yada yada, right? I don't remember if they did that. I know they spoke for a bit. I just don't remember if that was the very specific thing. But they get more into the whole, oh, you're not gonna be there for Grogu, the whole time. So you got to make sure you're the father, or that he's prepared, right? Yeah, it's just a weird thing. That's all he says. It's hard being your own man when Jabba's your father. I don't know. That's kind of all I really want to say on The Mandalorian and Grogu. I really liked it. Had a lot of fun with it. Cool references here and there. Cool characters you get to see that you haven't seen in a while. Like there's that Zed character. I didn't watch Rebels, but I know who the character is. So I it's cool to see him, I guess, but I don't have a whole lot of connection to him. There's that bounty hunter character. I can't remember his name, but he has a cool shield that he uses as like a hat dome thing. It was cool to see him. I like his role in the film. Also, actually, one other thing I want to say. There is this moment which I think is actually my favorite part of the film. It's about a 10 to 15 minute sequence of Grogu on his own like little adventure thing, right? I very much enjoyed that sequence. I love the music in it. I love what's going on behind the scenes in terms of Grogu dealing with this internal conflict of having to deal with an issue when he's on his own. He doesn't have Din to help him. More so, he's trying to help Din with something. Din gets poisoned and he's trying to heal him, right? So I love everything about that scene. Him trying to protect Din, trying to find him food, trying to find a cure for the poison that's going on with Din. And I just love that sequence of Grogu having to do something on his own. Even though he's a little baby, I very much love that sequence. So yeah, I enjoyed The Mandalorian and Grogu. I'd very much like to watch it again, but the film just feels so damn long that it would feel kind of tough to go back to watch. But I do want to watch it just because I thought it was very fun. I love the action. The score was great. And the artistry and the production of a Star Wars project is just very fun to watch. I'm giving The Mandalorian and Grogu a B. I very much liked it. I want to watch it again, but I'm not going to rush to it unless I see another showing if I have some free time in the future. Okay, next, let's talk about one of the most fascinating, original, unique, batshit insane films that I've seen in quite a while. I Love Boosters, directed by Boots Riley. It's been a while since I've seen Boots Riley on the big screen. He has a film that came out a few years ago called I'm a Virgo, I think, but the only Boots Riley film I've seen was Sorry to Bother You from 2018. So I was very much excited to see what he had in store for us. I did not know what to expect, and I really don't know how to explain this film. So I'm just gonna say what the description reads on Letterboxd. A fearless crew of incentive young women turn shoplifting into a radical act of defiance. So yeah, we follow a group of shoplifters who steal clothes from high-end stores and they resell them on the streets. But our main character, played by Keke Palmer Corvette, she's having issues because she feels like she's stuck in life. She feels like she's not really doing much by only just reselling these clothes on the streets. And she wants to be a designer, but she finds out that a high-end fashion designer actually stole a design that she used for a contest. So she has more of a personal incentive to steal from this high-end fashion designer. But there are also more issues going on in this film that have to do with workers' rights and conditions of workers in factories that make these clotheslines. And I feel like the film has a lot to say. It has a lot going on, but I feel like there's too much going on, and it does its best to juggle all of these things going on. And I really don't know what else they could have done though, because the film does feel very long, although it is only just under 2 hours. It is a tad slow here and there, but I did enjoy it because it's high energy all the time. There's just so much wacky shit going on. All these characters are fucking bizarre, but they have so much character to them. They're fun, they're quirky, they're weird. They have a weird etiquette to them, a funny etiquette to them. I love all these characters on screen. They have a fun dynamic. They're really fun to watch. It's a very funny movie. I found myself laughing quite a bit. This review might be a little jumbled just because there's so much to talk about. There's so much going on. Like I said, it's been a while since I've seen this film, but there's a lot that's stuck with me just because of how weird this movie is. It tackles a lot of things. It introduces a lot of things. Like there's a sequence where the characters are trying to steal from the job that they have, a store that's owned by the fashion designer, right? And as they go in for like a quick 2-minute meeting, they go back outside and the store is completely stolen from. They don't know what happened. So they look at the cameras and they see someone with a bag and it's sucking up all the clothes. Like something you'd see out of like a sci-fi movie. And it turns out that the bag actually has like a device, a ring-like device that's a teleporter. But it turns out that the teleporter can also be used to alter objects in real life. It shoots a beam out at something and it can either dematerialize it into its basic components, or it can materialize it even further into what it's meant to be portraying or something. I can't fucking describe it. It's such a weird fucking bizarre concept. But it keeps adding all of these things and it's so fucking weird. But I loved it because it's fucking weird. It's bizarre. There's no fucking movie like this. This is the most unique fucking like intricate detailed film I've seen in a while. There's so much going on. It juggles a lot of things, and sometimes it feels like some things are underdeveloped. Like there's this character portrayed by Lakeith Stanfield, and I guess he had a past relationship with Corvette. There's some weird shit going on with him, like he's a demon, and I thought it was just metaphorical because they tell a story about how he sucked the soul out of someone by giving them head, right? And I thought it was just a metaphorical thing, but it's a real fucking thing that goes on in this film. I mean, everything could just be surreal for the sake of being surreal, and it's just an over exaggeration of what's going on in our character's mind. Because throughout the film, we do see all of the struggle she has portrayed in a giant ball just rolling towards her like it's the giant ball in Indiana Jones. Fuck, I don't know. I mean, that aspect, the Lakeith Stanfield subplot, I really don't get. But it was still kind of fun to watch every time it came up, especially when it evolves like weird prosthetics go on his mouth because he's like supposed to be a demon, so he has like all these jagged up fucking mangled gnarled teeth going on. It's fucking weird, but it's just fun to watch. There's so much wacky shit like that going on in this film, and because I saw Sorry to Bother You, I saw what Boots Riley does. He has all this weird shit going on, especially with the weird shit that happens at the end of that film. I don't know how much weird shit to expect in this, but it's all here. So much weird shit going on. But yeah, I very much enjoyed this film. It's super high energy. I love the editing. Oh my god, the costumes. How could I not talk about the costume design? There's so many fucking wacky, bizarre, fun, frilly, just interesting looking, unique costumes in this film. It's a very colorful film. It's a damn good looking film. It sucks that it's bombing at the box office. I did my part. I saw this film in theaters opening weekend, I think. But it sucks that it's bombing right now because apparently the budget was like 20 million. I would have believed it if they said it was 50 million. It looks that damn good. It's super sharp and crisp, very colorful, great lighting, great cinematography. But also, what makes this film stand out even more is, I will say this, the use of stop motion and miniature sets. Holy fuck, I did not expect that when it happened. I'm sorry if you haven't seen it and I just spoiled it for you that there's miniatures and stop motion going on in this film. But trust me saying that will not ruin it for you because of what they use it for. It's so fucking actually it's such a smart reason why they use it, especially the miniature stuff. It helps play into the surreal aspect of this film with all the crazy shit going on. But the reason why they use it, I think it's so they didn't have to shut down a whole bunch of streets and inflate the budget even more when they're doing all this crazy wacky shit, right? Because there's so much shit going on in this miniature sequence. It's so fucking cool to watch, though. It really makes this film stand out and makes it that much more fucking batshit insane. One thing I will say, though, the worker rights aspect of this film, about the conditions of the workers in, I believe, this Chinese factory where these clothes are manufactured, I wasn't as invested in that plot point as I was in the rest of the film. It was still fun to watch and super fucking, out there. But I just felt like the workers' rights issues, what, like, one, it came out of fucking nowhere, and two, I don't feel it was all that developed as well as the other aspects of the film. And or I felt as if it didn't, I felt like it just didn't succeed in saying what it wanted to say in the best way possible. I agree with those sentiments, but I felt like just because there's so much going on that it didn't really make that the strongest point. Because, like I said, there's so much shit going on. Like it's so fucking hard to explain this film in terms of like a plot, a central plot, because of all this shit that just keeps being piled on and added on, for better and worse. But I enjoyed this film. It's so fucking bizarre and weird and wacky and funny. It's such a damn funny film. I think it's one of the funniest films I've seen in quite a while. One thing I totally forgot to talk about is the score for this film. I think the music is so damn weird and out there, and it totally matches the tone of the film. Just so surreal and unconventional. The music is from Tune Yards from Meryl Garbus and Nate Brenner. It's such a weird score. It's so unconventional and fun and out there, and it totally amplifies the weird tone that this film has going on. Give it a listen to if you want. It's just so weird, and it totally works for the film. I very much enjoyed this film, and I can't wait to see what Boots Riley does next. I'm definitely going to check out all of his works. I think he has 2 other movies under his belt. I really need to check this guy out because this was such a really fun fucking movie to watch. And I'm giving I Love Boosters a B. I very much enjoyed it. It might go up on a second watch when I have a little more time and just another experience to digest it in a different manner, because I very much enjoyed it. And I highly recommend everyone go check this movie out just because of how fucking weird and out there it is. And it's such a weird fucking movie, but I loved it. It was fucking out there, and it's one of the most original and unique movies you will see in a while. So, have you seen Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu, and I Love Boosters? What did you think about them? Did you like them or did you not like them? Tell me what you thought about them in the comments below, and I'll be back with more enjoyable content like this. So, yeah, bye.